Yeah.
So we can,
Yeah,
wait a minute.
I'm just gonna kill the
these
batteries.
are really,
You look good. You look good. We got your good side.
Are you two rolling?
they turned my,
just be
my
gentle.
camera, my monitor off me.
Go over the just lift it up over the cables if you need to. Is that out your that out the picture? Out the set?
Grace, are we out of the is this out
Yeah,
of the
you're
picture?
good now. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, we don't get the monitor.
No, man, did we get our?
They took the
Yeah,
monitor.
that's better, cause you know.
All right, you listen. I haven't said a cuss word yet, but y'all about to make me. We can't see. Okay.
Man, let's
All right,
man,
let's do it.
so we can. I gotta pick up my semi. You know, I can see when they come. My semi, it's in the shop, and they're gonna call me when it's ready.
Okay.
So I can tell them what to do.
Okay. Is it time?
Ready? Yeah, I think it's time. Everybody's
Do
rolling.
I need a tic tac? Is that what it is? This breath going?
You need a whole pack of them.
Oh,
All right.
Okay.
Do y'all want to do this?
Yeah, go
Kind
through.
of fun.
Yeah,
y'all just wanna take-
okay. You ready?
Take that in front of each of the cameras and just like clap it.
Okay.
That's all.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
What is it supposed to be?
Troutman's interview,
facing-
J.D. Wentworth.
The number's supposed to. That's right.
Which- okay,
That's
yeah.
not Wentworth. It's Wentsell.
All right, here we go.
Whoever calls him Wentworth.
J.D. Wentworth. When you
Oh!
You need it now.
Okay.
More cameras.
Perfect. Two more. This
there's
one.
a-
and
oh.
this one.
Oh.
J.D. Wentworth when you need cash, and you need it cash now. Uh-oh. We got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah. That's in case the film guys are no good. All right.
Okay, we go.
I'm ready.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's get at it.
Let's get into it. Okay. Everybody ready back there? We're all ready. We're all ready.
And what do they do? And if they're ready? So,
Are they
Yeah, can do audio.
yeah, what
they
are
students too?
They're
Yeah,
gonna
we're
applaud.
all students here.
They're gonna applaud or what? I mean, you know what? No, okay.
All right.
Do you have any?
Okay. That's cool.
In
Yeah,
case-
and I think that we're going from here up, so I should be all right. So,
In case.
can you tell that I got this from Walmart? Be honest.
No.
Okay, cool. All right.
So before we start, I'm 67. Terry's 62.
Okay.
And if you're wondering why, because we had, we were adopted, and I found out that my people in my bloodline was, I had two relatives. For the black side, it was Don Cornelius from Soul Train, if you guys ever watched that, and the white side was Dick Clark. Their hair never got gray. If you ever noticed, that's why mine's okay. Don't laugh.
I tried to stay in
Okay, I'm
character,
sorry.
but
No,
I couldn't, man.
That was
I
just
tried.
a disclaimer, right? Okay.
I tried.
Y'all
Okay.
know? Y'all remember Dick Clark?
We have him move over 1 inch.
Over 1 inch.
Who? Him?
Oh, they want us to. No. Just
Just so it's, yeah.
here we go. They want us to join.
Well, oh.
Okay.
Right there.
Okay.
Is that good?
Is that good? You can work with that?
Yeah, that's good. Yep, that's perfect.
They just took.
You sure that's good?
Yes. that's
Okay.
perfect, Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and get started. So while some outsiders perceive Dayton as a small city with limited offerings, many Daytonians would counter that notion, asserting that the city boasts a rich and vibrant history. As Daytonians, what have you all noticed about the city, and how would you describe the city of Dayton's culture?
Terry?
I don't know. I don't know anything. I tell you what. Ask it one more time.
As Daytonians, how would you, or how would you kind of describe the city of Dayton's culture?
Wow, he got the hard questions, doesn't he?
Okay, I'll answer. No.
Yeah, you could go first.
Dayton, the culture, man, this is, let's see.
And just, we are so seasoned, right? So it's hard to think about today's culture as opposed to,
Very good.
from which we come.
So
But I'll
exactly
try
right.
to gel them all together.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, First of all, we were born in Hamilton, Ohio, okay, and we moved to Dayton in the 70s. All right, we had family here, and we had our older brother, which I'm sure you'll talk about later. He lived in Dayton, and we came up to Dayton. When I came in 1970, I graduated in 74, so when I moved to Dayton in probably late 74, early 75, I noticed how many groups there were, and I noticed how people were clinging to art, to I don't know, how do you say it? People were, the city was booming. Okay, it was moving. The university, the radio stations, the 3 television stations. It's like, man, this is amazing. Everybody was just happy to show their 2 cents or to get into the arts, if you will. It's just what it seemed like to me. And remember, back then I was a young teenager. Had one thing on my mind.
Very cool. As we explore the narrative of how music serves as a voice for artists and communities, particularly acknowledging that funk emerged from a backdrop of social unrest and injustice, could you elaborate
Look,
on...
slow down, stop.
Sorry.
We don't know what half these daggone words mean, man. We're musicians, okay? Break it down, all right? Go ahead. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm trying my best. These are
See,
like...
don't you
Oh,
break-
yeah,
if
take
you-
your time.
If y'all play this on YouTube, I'm gonna deny it. I'm gonna just look. Wait a minute. I'm gonna say I was
Yeah.
reading it. Okay.
Yeah, we could get there.
All right, go ahead.
We
No,
could
no,
get there.
How can you elaborate on like the transformative power of arts and music, especially because funk emerged from a backdrop of social unrest and injustice?
So let me make sure you could. So we are. This whole interview is about the culture of and the resurgence, if that's a word, of funk music. And with Dayton being so relative, so many groups came from Dayton in the funk era in the late 70s or the 70s and 80s and probably on into the 90s. That's what this is about, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I see. So you jumped over a few things. So, okay, I got it. So ask the question again, the second
So
question.
could you elaborate on the transformative power of arts and music?
The transformative powers. Terry, again.
Let's see. Okay. Well, I tell you. So we're talking about the funk or our style of music. Well, we never really looked at it that deeply, but what we wanted to do was entertain the listeners and the audience and to make them feel something, to make them feel good about what they saw and what they heard. And that was really the basis of it for us. We wanted to, and our music, if you go back and look at our catalog, the majority of it is feel-good music, right? It's not a bunch of like backdrop and politics and all of that sort of stuff, but the most of it is the feel-good.
Absolutely. Yeah. To expound on it, spread it out a little bit. We were, these questions that you're asking, I understand. They're from, I guess, a textbook, if you will, or student's point of view, because you guys have to read everything that you know about funk music, right? We, as my brother said, I'm sure a lot of the other artists that you interview, you know, that's not how funk came about. It's a feeling. It's a feeling. And when we came to Dayton, at least when I came to Dayton in the 70s, what we were trying to do, my brothers and I, what we were trying to do is, as he said, entertain the people. We were mimicking who we heard. We were mimicking James Brown. who did a lot of recording in Cincinnati. We were mimicking Bootsy Collins. We were mimicking George Clinton. We were mimicking, just Sly Stone. Okay, so we tell you what we didn't do, and what we did do. We didn't sit around and say, "Hey, look," wrote out on a piece of paper, say, "Look, James Brown did 52 spins and played a G flat against an F flat or F sharp," or we didn't do that. You say, "Hey, look, this is our contribution. This is how we think it should be. Let's do this and let's play." And if people came and they enjoyed it, man. Okay,
Yes.
make sense?
Yes.
All
That's
right,
very
edit.
cool.
Yeah.
So kind of talking about that, you said your main goal was to entertain, right? You were mimicking people and entertaining. How did that kind of creative outlet provide individuals and communities with the opportunity to express themselves? So like, was it just purely to entertain, or were you all also kind of expressing yourselves, or was it just, we want to entertain people?
Me, you, me?
I guess maybe both of us.
Yeah.
Man, he got 8 people in here. They better know how to cut in and out of this. If they don't, we gonna have a problem.
Yeah, this thing will be long.
Okay.
Yeah. We were trying to entertain people first, okay? And at the time, as a local band, we didn't care what we played or who we played, okay? Because we were trying to get paid. We would go play frat parties. We would go play what they were called back then beer joints, okay? We were playing bars. We were playing weddings. It didn't matter. And who was ever at number one is who we played. We would play Chaka Khan. We would play, let's just say it, James Brown. We would play the Beatles. It didn't matter who was ever number one. It didn't matter, okay? It wasn't until we had landed our record contract where we sit down and started making music, writing songs. And the songs that we wrote about, some of the topics were always about making the people move, always about making the people feel good, always about when you turn on your radio, you say, "Hey, who is that?" That was always our goal. Roger and I when we were younger boys, we'd always said, "Man, we want to be like B.B. King." This one, check this out. Only in this sense. Liberace. Y'all guys remember him? Liberace.
Yeah.
Anybody ever remember a record that he made? Exactly. But everybody remember you guys.
They know him.
Yeah, that's 60 years ago, but they know who he was, and that was who we always wanted to be like. We always wanted people to, when they called our name, they say, "Oh, yes, I remember him. Oh, man, look at these pictures," okay? Not so much of the records, but of the show, and that's, we try to mimic. And as B.B. King always toured. I can remember him having 2 big hit records. The Thrill Is Gone was one, and I think why I Sing the Blues. The Thrill Is Gone. My dad used to listen to that when we were little boys. Okay, so B.B. King, but you would look on what we call posters, placards. We look on placards back when we were kids. B.B. King, everywhere you go. And if you can, as you guys do your research, you can look back and see some of these things, right? Or James Brown. These people would play and play and play and play and play and play, and the records that we heard were usually only one, and that was that was intriguing to us. That was like, how did it happen? Because I don't think that anybody can make hit records forever. And if you build a career, this is just me. Look, you can edit this out. Don't put it out there. Don't look. I believe you should build a career on trying to make hit records. My God, it's gonna be short-lived. It's gonna be short-lived because, bam, you're gonna you guys, you listen to who you listen to now, and then your kids are gonna listen to who they listen to. It's But if you build a career on entertaining people, you always have people coming to see you. Sorry. But anyway, and that's what we always, Roger, and that's what we always try to build our career on. That's when we were kids, we always talked about that, you know. Sorry.
Well put.
Good.
So, sorry, I gotta make my questions easy.
Just question 29.
Question 4.
Okay.
So you all talked a little bit about, again, your main goal is to entertain. But during those 60s and 70s when you all were playing music, civil rights movement was a huge deal happening all over the United States. And even in Dayton, it was one of the most segregated cities in America at the time, and even had several race riots back then. Did you all have any experience with those events? And like, what was it like in Dayton kind of during that time?
Oh yeah,
Back up.
I'm going to have to let Lester answer that. In those times, I was too small. I wasn't in the group. Way
I mean,
too
what
small.
year was you born?
61. So
Wow.
yeah,
Have I been playing that long?
yeah, 100 years. Okay, anyway, go ahead.
We weren't born in Dayton. We migrated to Dayton. We came from Hamilton. Hamilton was a small town. There were more opportunities in Cincinnati, which was south of us, and even bigger opportunities when we were little boys in the 60s or in the 70s for sure. In Dayton because of a black radio station, a powerhouse radio station. During the riots, during the 60s, I was in elementary, junior high school. I can remember, but we always played music. Now, was the question, how did it impact us, or what was the question?
It was
Forgive me.
just kind of, did you have any like personal experiences with these events? Like,
Oh my
obviously-
God, yes. We're black. Of course we did, yeah. But some of the things that happened back then was rough, man. It was terrible. Especially Hamilton is about as big as this room in here, but our parents did a great job. And where we grew up at, there was a community center a few blocks down the street, and Terry wasn't born. Zapp wasn't born. His real name is Terry. Roger and I, my dad took everything he had, and he bought us instruments. Bought Roger guitar, bought me drums, and he built me a set of drums, and we practiced in our garage. So we were kind of in a sheltered setting, if you would. But going to school, man, it was rough. Of course, we had dealings with that, and those memories are burned in our mind. Some of the songs, a couple of the songs that we did were a bit, if you would, political, but it was kind of always just at the tip of the iceberg. Playing kind of rough. That song was on Zapp 2, Playing Kind of Rough, and it talks about taxes, politics. That was a reflection of some of the things that we went through, I should say. And So Rough, So Tough. That song is most definitely, it is, again, what we were saying earlier, So Rough, So Tough. The song talks about forgetting about your troubles, listen to the radio, pat your foot, nod your head, drink a beer, dance, and for 3 minutes and 30 seconds, you could just forget about everything, forget about your troubles and get on down. And that song is kind of, if you think about it or listen to it, that's what we're talking about. It's forgetting about all of everything and dance.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just talked about how your dad kind of almost built you all instruments.
No doubt.
Could you kind of walk through how, I guess, Zapp goes from, practicing instruments on homemade instruments to where Zapp is now is like this huge band?
Wow. The group, we started I started playing in I was 4 years old. I started playing in 1962, I would think. Wow. No, that's wrong. 1960. It's 1960. I started playing, and my first set of drums my dad worked at a paper mill, okay, and a friend of his had a set of drums, old set of drums. My dad went over, got them, cleaned them up, painted them, put the heads on it, and that was my set of drums. If you show any pictures in this thing, I show them so you can show it, you can see it. He built them, okay, and he was instrumental in our career. Okay, it was Roger and I early on, way before he was even born. Okay, and he never forced us to do anything, but this is a long answer. Because of the influence of music, because of the influence of black music at that, because of Motown, as I didn't mention them, Motown, James Brown, all those guys early on in the Otis Redding, all those guys. That's who we wanted to mimic. So we said, hey, Dad, and even the Beatles, Dad, give me a set. How are we going to do this? How you do this? How do this? And Roger, he would play with, Roger was older than me, and he would play with some of the guys, older guys around town. And then when he would come back from playing on the weekend, he would show me the beats, and I learned the beats. And the things that we didn't have, but kind of improvised. Our dad said, look, you use this until we can get a symbol. So, hope I don't want to get too deep with it, but there you go. Because we already on question 3.
Yeah, are we still on 3?
Right.
Yeah.
We're moving.
Now, let me add a little bit to that. Yeah. When I got in the band, I was like, well, let's see, I started off on the crew carrying the equipment. This was the mid to late 70s. We had a group. We were local, but we played all over the country by that time. It was already pretty much made for me. I came in, I played the bass and background, stuff like that. And it was about 3 years of that before we had hit records. And after that, well, it changed some, but I must admit, it got a little bit better, a lot better.
Hit records.
Yeah, hit records.
First record I made was in 1963. 1963, yeah. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. We made one in 75, a single, and then we made an album, and I went up to 1980 was our first hit, first major label, and it happened. First record out. Okay, go ahead. I probably jumped the gun. You can edit that out. Okay.
JD, I'm gonna I'm getting Terry louder.
You getting
He's coming out louder
Terry's coming out louder?
than you, yeah. I don't know if the mic needs to be
Oh, is that better? Well, I'm trying to be conservative and trying to be
Yeah, I thought I was being kind
yeah,
of soft
yeah,
spoken.
me too. I did too. I guess I could talk loud.
I guess you can talk a little bit louder.
I can talk louder.
Y'all are good now.
That's better? Oh, okay, good.
We don't have to start all over, do we?
Oh, no. No. Yeah, they get big
Yeah,
staff,
right.
man.
I got a fader on it. I got.
We don't have a fader. We're running through the camera and we're having a little trouble with it.
Look,
Okay.
I got an
Sorry.
app on my phone, man. Okay,
Right?
I can show it to you. I got an app on my phone. You could put two sources in, and you can turn one of them up and one of them down. It's
gotta
called
get that out.
iMovie. No.
Advanced technology.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to be so silly.
What is
No, you're
That's
good.
fine. Are we all good?
Oh, you
So,
ready?
Yeah. I hope this interview is not too boring. So come on, get.
Oh, no,
Come on,
it's
let's
This is moving ahead. Okay.
great.
You can bringing us up. So in the 60s and what my dad did, he was instrumental. We had instruments, he built them. And I don't know. Okay, go ahead.
You all just talked about kind of your hits and there was a time where it wasn't quite at that level yet, but when did you all realize there was something really special about your music, and was there a point where it was okay, we've kind of made it as musicians. We're not people who play music anymore. We're full-time musicians now.
Oh, shoot.
I've never got there. I've been playing for 64 years. I've never got there. I'm sorry. God, one time in my life, I thought that I arrived, and
Yeah, that was bad.
that was bad. I got knocked down,
Yes.
lost everything. And
Yes.
No, I'm not there.
Me
Never
too.
made it.
Even worse for me. So no.
Never made it. We just,
No.
my opinion or my view is that God gave us this gift. At least He gave me this gift, and He blessed us, blessed me, to put the gift out to the people. They listened to it, they looked at it, they liked it, they embraced it, and because of the way the world is, instead of recording studios, instead of people remaking songs, sampling came in, and they started sampling our music. Hey man, this is crazy. We were doing an interview in Mexico a couple of weeks ago, and the guy asked us, he says, "Who are you touring with?" We had the week before, in fact, it was a couple of nights before we flew to Los Cabos, we were with Ice Cube, who used several of our songs. So, hey man, made it? Never. No. We made it here on time. That's it. That's it. No.
Yeah.
Man, this is a gift that we put out to the world, man. This is, at least that's my view.
Yeah, we'll keep doing it. We won't get complacent.
Very cool. So, amidst the peak of Dayton's funk popularity in the early 80s, what was like a typical day for you all as musicians during that time?
In the
Oh,
80s,
man.
after the first hit record, the typical day, you want to go, and I can tell you.
Yeah, this was pretty fun.
A typical
So
day.
in the 80s, I was in my early 20s, right?
Younger than you guys.
And I mean, we were clean, and we didn't run around in the streets, and we didn't mess with drugs or anything like that, any kind of derogatory or illegal stuff. But let's say we had a lot of girlfriends. Let's say, okay, we had a lot of fun, and we constantly toured and constantly made records in the early years. It was always moving right up the street there, Dayton. Typical day, yeah. I won't go plus there's a lot of women in here, I'm gonna be really cool, okay? Y'all not gonna get me in court and all of that. So when Terry said this, there you go. Okay,
And
Lester.
to open it up, a typical day, I don't know how deep you're going to get with the questions. I'm going to kind of keep it together for you. We were blessed. 1980, we recorded the first Zapp album. We started recording in the 70s. Like, we started seriously recording in Cincinnati about 77. And then Bootsy's brother, Catfish, we were playing at a club in Cincinnati, and Bootsy's brother came to see us. And he remembered us because when Bootsy was a local band, we were local bands, and we played together. We were, battle of the bands. So Catfish came, watched us play, and he called Bootsy and said, "Hey, look, you got to check these guys out." Bootsy took us to Detroit. We met George Clinton, and George Clinton said, "Come up and cut." That's what they call recording there. Come up to Detroit and start cutting. We had been recording earlier at a studio in Cincinnati called Queen City Records, QCA. We used to record over there, and then we went up to Detroit and started recording. Now, after our first record came out, 1980, we toured, and those days that was like, God, let me not talk too long. In 1977, we toured. We used to play the college scenes around Tennessee, Georgia, Virginia, Michigan. We played all around. We used to go and play weeks at a time at clubs, okay? Like was up Dugan's over there, the little places like that. We played for 5 days. So by the time we got our record deal in 1970, we signed it in 78. By the time we got our record deal, Larry, Roger, and myself, we had been playing. We had been playing these regional clubs. We landed. We hooked up with this guy from Dayton, who was hooked up with the Air Force, and he took us around and got us signed on with a program called Air Force Entertainment. It was something like USO, and we played every Air Force base in the United States. Every Air Force base, all Montana, Florida, South Dakota, North Dakota, California, Oregon, everywhere. So that went on from 77 to 80. Okay? Now, by the time we signed our record deal, one of the things that George and Bootsy said, hey, look, you guys can come and tour with us. You can go around and say, look, we're already touring. And so that wasn't a catch for us. So when the record came out, 1980, we had been touring the country already as a local band. Not, well, I should say, I don't know if we call that a local band or not, but we weren't a national recording artist, national recording band. So we had toured around the U.S. In 1980, when More Bounce came out, I remember we were going to play at a club here in Dayton, Jilly's. We were going to play there, and we were going to do a 3-night stand there. And I was driving. I was coming from home. I was we had a station wagon that we traveled in. I had the station wagon. I had the radio station on, and I heard More Bounce City Ounce. It's like, what? That was mind-blowing, man. Mind-blowing, So we got to Jilly's to play, and we had invited George and Bootsy to come and see us play. They came to the club. Jilly's, very small place, is closed now. We were playing in there, and George and Bootsy were there. The place was packed, right? A couple of days later, Larry, Roger, and myself, we flew to New York to meet with Benny Ashburn, who was the manager of the Commodores, Lionel Richie and the Commodores. We flew to New York and met with them, and we signed a deal to be the opening act for the Commodores in 1980. Okay? You got it?
Yeah.
You got that right?
Yes.
The first city we played with the Commodores was Ames, Iowa. Okay? Yeah, exactly. What? Right? We go into this arena, and it's crazy, right? Now, waking up to that, coming from playing Jilly's and then going to, a 10,000-seat arena, it takes a minute to get that together, man. Catering, food, all the food you can eat, and like my brother said, girls, man, and the Commodores, oh my God, they limos, and it was mind blowing. So, I had to kind of get that together. I was mind blowing. That's what I dreamed about. It's what I read about. When we were kids, is what Roger and I, we talked about when we were kids. Hey, man, is this it? Fast forward a little bit. After the first record, it was time to make the second record. We went to the studio, started recording the second record. And we would have to tour, come home from touring, drop our stuff off at home, and then drive to Detroit to record. 3 hours up, 3 hours back. That's almost a half a day, right? Of traveling. So I said, hey, man, look, we're gonna build our own studio. So we built our own studio. Salem, Catappa, we did it. We bought a Neve, a $250,000 console. And, I don't even think there was even one in this part of the country back then. And so that's what we did with our money. We didn't do drugs. No fast cars, no huge houses, nothing like that. So we spent our money, and we built a studio, and we went into other business. The other business we went into was construction. We built homes. That's what we did with our money in the early 80s, right? So 81, we started building a studio, got finished in late 81, 82. Now, waking up every day in a house that you built, your own house that you built, and then jumping in a Cadillac or a Lincoln and driving down to your own studio and sitting there and record. And we had record deals. We had, we made records. Now, you ask me what was a typical day, I'll ask you, what would you do if you had to deal with that in your 20s? What would you do?
What would you do?
With no drugs, no alcohol,
No.
no, nothing like that. So, how do you think a day was?
Yeah.
You should put the camera on him.
Yeah,
See,
right. We're not going to
house-
articulate too much.
Right in
Yeah.
Dayton, Ohio.
Yeah.
In Dayton, Ohio.
In
Okay.
Dayton.
And wow, we didn't have the luxury, if you will, of a producer coming in and saying, do this, do that, do this, do that. Play this, play that, play this, play that. Bobby's got a song, and you're going to do Bobby's song, and you got to play this, and it wasn't like that. We produced our own self. Roger was head producer. We produced our own self. I was the engineer. I built the studios. I engineered the records all there. We didn't have an engineer coming in and say, hey, this bass drum is too loud. This bass is too loud.
Nah.
That was never ideal. And when we sent the records to Warner Brothers, there wasn't anybody telling us saying, hey, this this vocal is too loud here and it's too much reverb.
Yeah.
So, there.
Yeah. It was
You're-
good. It was
yeah.
fun.
You're
it was
ma-
magnificent.
You're making this documentary and it's you. This is your dream. So, you got to have certain guidelines. So imagine having that kind of freedom. Wow.
Yeah, it's really incredible.
It is.
So, how did you all talked about performing at that club, Ely's? How did you all kind of get perception from Dayton as opposed to other places? Like when you performed in Dayton, was there kind of a feeling than playing somewhere else? Like what did you all kind of receive?
Well, let's see. Dayton at home. Yeah, I mean, Dayton, well, one thing for sure, we still don't know how this happened, but there were a bunch of groups, a bunch of funk and R&B groups. That's like way more than other cities. You know, we can't ever explain that. But playing at home, playing in Dayton, it was fun. And hey, we would rather play another city because when we played in Dayton, we had we had to get tickets and we had to do all of this stuff. If you in another city, you don't have to deal with that. It was less pressure. But their response, it was good. It was special. It was home. It was much. They loved it.
It was, playing the response from Dayton was, what was the difference? When we came off stage.
Oh, the water.
Yeah, when we came off stage, this was the difference for me. When we came off stage, instead of meeting a DJ from a radio station or a person who wanted to do an interview or a fan, you go in the dressing room and wow, it's Joe, it's Uncle Andrew and Eileen, cousin Tommy, Frankie, Joe. Hey, I went to school with Billy. That was the difference to me. It's the people that you knew.
Yeah,
okay?
we knew the DJs,
Exactly.
and the record stores. We knew them all.
Yeah, and
that was home.
That was the difference in playing in L.A. back then. But now, God, we've been around so long. We know a lot of the people. But that was me. Now look, I just had to open up his answer a little bit. 28.
We're getting there. We're moving along. You all kind of talked about the most, there were so many funk bands at Dayton one time. I think
Yeah.
when our interview with Keith Harrison, I think he said there were 36 at one time, together, which is crazy. How did, But a big thing that he kind of talked about was sort of the interconnectedness and like they all kind of build off of each other. What was your all's experience with the other funk bands kind of from this area? Did you all kind of collaborate with them, or how did you all build off of the other funk artists in Dayton at that time?
Well, for me,
Does he have a hard? Is this questions like a college course or
This
like
is-
a rocket science?
when y'all show this on YouTube, this is the
Dang, man,
hardest
he
interview
is-
I ever did.
Okay. Anyway.
Next to the hardest, the one,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
ladies in
Yeah.
Connecticut. Right?
Oh. Oh yeah. Oh. Go ahead. Oh, yeah. Well, I think that we'll both do a little bit of this one. Okay.
The artists in Dayton, look, man, put it in perspective, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine you having who's a great journalist,
All right.
name one from, on channel, World News Tonight or something like that,
Oh, Steven
It's
Spielberg.
Yeah, Steven
type.
Spielberg. Is that
Yeah.
who? Is this kind of course that you working to be a director or
Gosh, I don't know. This whole class is geared to just making a documentary. So it's just
documentary? Okay, like what's that guy's name?
Ken
Ken Burns. Well, it's Ken Burns. Imagine.
Yeah, I know Ken. Yeah, we
Imagine-
went to lunch yesterday. That's why I was late.
Put this in perspective, JD. Imagine living in a city where Ken Burns lived in the same, the same city. You could go to the grocery store and see him.
Yeah.
And also that you had your own studio, and at any given time, Ken Burns would walk in, and you could talk to him, and he would say, "Man, look at this. What is that?" And you would imagine that, okay? So, interacting with the groups, having that many groups around, the Ohio players, Sugarfoot.
Yeah.
We did a project. We did a project. We did Billy Beck, Diamond. Those guys. We brought them. We did for project. Imagine that. So, wow. Interacting with the artists. I just said Steve Arrington played drums. Slave.
Yeah.
I play drums. Steve Arrington, listen to that guy, Drac, he's dead now, God bless his soul. Slide, Slide, this is a funk record that was in the 70s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the
Way
70s,
before we
man.
had hits.
Yeah, it was in high school when
Yeah,
that
we-
record came
yeah.
out. Imagine seeing that guy, you walk down the street, or you could, you want to go to Wendy's,
Yeah.
you see him interact. Keith Harrison to say that's the least, man. We would, it was
wild.
it was wonderful. It was great. And as I said earlier, we had the vehicle we had was WDAO. It was a big radio station. So all day, 24 hours a day, you could hear the music and hear the songs, hear the number one records. You could hear these records played all day, every day, all day, and you could ride down the street and see the guys who made it, or you could talk to them.
And Lester, you remember we were in our 20s, like most of you, right? And they would come different groups, like the leaders of the group, they would come in to the studio or meet us on the street, and we would just go to Wendy's. And he would play. He said, "Man, this is what we doing now. Listen to this." We'd sit them in our cars for hours, just sit there, and we would trade songs. We would hang out. It was like that. It was beautiful.
It was amazing, man.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It was beautiful.
So yeah, absolutely. The interaction was good. Collaborations weren't as powerful, or I should say popular,
Yeah.
then as they are now. For artists could come in and nobody could come in and do a song with Beyonce, and they would, their stock would go up to here. that wasn't the case then. You know, if a guy come in, they would sing a part or play a part. Nobody would know who they were for years. So, but we did work together. We did, you know, we'd always show respect. I tell you, man, the biggest group at our time that was around was the Ohio Players.
Yeah.
They were the biggest. Okay,
They had
biggest.
like 4 platinum records, man. You know, it was big.
Sugarfoot he's from our hometown. He lived
Yeah.
4 blocks from us.
Yeah.
He was from our hometown. Okay, Hamilton, Ohio. So, wow, you know.
That's incredible. Just like almost in like a neighborhood, like with all your friends, kind of. It's like the dream as a kid.
Yeah.
man.
Oh,
it's,
for sure.
You know, it's amazing.
Like
it's
that.
amazing.
Cool. Sorry, I'm trying to move.
You must be nervous, JD. Huh?
Me
look,
too, man. I'm
Look,
nervous.
JD's
See?
nervous. He's,
I was hoping-
he's
I tried.
yeah.
I'm not
Don't put the
joking.
camera, JD's nervous.
I was trying so hard to pick a shirt that wasn't gonna do that.
Yeah.
Hey, JD, I got another jacket over
It's
there.
all right,
Okay?
man.
That's
It's
why
all right.
That's why I wear jackets. Okay.
So you all talked a little bit about sampling a little bit. We won't
Yeah.
get too much into it, but
It's okay.
how did you all kind of perceive artists like that were in hip hop and rap kind of sampling funk music? What are kind of your thoughts and feelings?
Oh, yeah. Hey, man,
Wait a minute. Wait, no.
we. Okay, he's a ventriloquist.
No,
for
no,
real.
no. I was.
That's
just,
what he went to school for.
Yeah,
You-
we knew. You know, like 1979, we went to the studio. We started recording. Funky Bounce came from More Bounce. Wrong. More Bounce came from Funky Bounce.
right.
Okay. It's Gonna Be All Right. It's one of my favorite songs, Zapp song. We knew when we started doing that song. We knew that Tupac was gonna do that song. We knew it. Why are you guys laughing?
Okay, and if
Why
you
are you
believe that,
laughing? Oh.
I got a bridge in San Francisco.
So,
I'm just
hey.
saying, I need the money now.
Go ahead.
Well, that sampling, let's see, I guess that it started with like the late 80s, 88, something like that. And there's hundreds, it might be
Was it 88?
into the
Yes, yeah.
thousands now of artists, mostly hip hop, who have sampled our music, you know, and not very many. You can probably count them on 2 hands who can say that, okay? And number one, we honored, you know, to be on a show with Ice Cube. Are you kidding me? You know,
Snoop, Ice Cube,
yeah, you know, we
50.
had songs out in the early 80s. That's, man, I told y'all I couldn't count that. Well, that's 40-something years ago, right? And to be on the stage with him, you know, they sampled it. I mean, it just, you name them, Tupac, all of them. They loved our brother. They just had so much honor and respect and homage to him.
It's amazing.
You know, it was just, it's hard to explain, but yeah, we honored. Can't you tell? We honored.
Imagine, man. Again,
Yeah.
you know, I don't mean to put you in an interview, but this is you asking us the questions.
Yeah.
But this is, I hope the audience, whoever turned this off on YouTube, I hope that they can understand. And I'm just trying to make you, you know, put it in perspective.
Yeah.
More Bounce, 1980. Heard It Through the Grapevine, 1981. So Rough, So Tough, 1981. Do It, Roger, 1981. Dance
He
Floor,
did
1980.
Be All Right. That
Oh,
was
that
in
was 1980. Be All Right, 1980.
Keep your head up.
Right. Dance Floor, 82. Do I Diddy. Then,
Wow.
you know, we had songs that didn't do well. I won't say the word. Wasn't as big. Wasn't number one R&B records. Came to be in movies. They started putting records in movies before sampling started. Okay, you guys remember movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off? You remember when he was driving the car after when we had to rewind the wheels? When he got in the car and started driving, he turned the radio on. That's a Zapp song.
It's our
That's
song.
radio people.
Radio.
So
On
we
my
had
radio.
that.
It's our song.
All on the radio. Zapp. That people.
And
Imagine
then you
that.
see me. Look. You see this? That's our song. That's a heck of a thing, ain't it?
So imagine, you talk about sampling. That's before sampling,
Yeah.
and then, that was one of the hits, and then Love and Basketball, and then Selena. You remember the movie Selena? And Selena, all of those songs were, almost every song in the movie was Selena's songs. Was all Tejano music. I'm saying that right? Edit. Most of the music in it was Selena's songs, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember the scene when the brother when the bus ran out of gas, Dad said, go get some gas. Take Beulah or Bertha or whatever and take the bus and go get gas. And he was driving and the bus ran out of gas. And these Mexicans pulled up in a lowrider car and they said, oh, Selena's. When, I don't know if you watch the movie, you go back and watch the movie, the guys, when they were driving the car, they were listening to the music. The song was Do I Did It, it's a Zapp song. That was in the movie, and whole culture, it's amazing, man. Love and Basketball. It's a beer fest.
Oh, wow.
What was that?
And
What was the guy's name that smoked all the weed?
He looks real crazy. I cannot call his
they
name.
thought
I
the
just
budget
have to-
was very small, and the
I'll
movie
send it
grossed
to you.
millions.
Yeah, he had this funny haircut. He
Yeah, it
couldn't
was
dance. What
yeah,
was
whatever
his
his-
name?
That-
Oh, everybody used to talk about
but
it. The
mo-
movie came out probably about 20 years ago.
Yeah,
I
it was-
cannot think of that
there you
guy's
go.
name. They had like
That-
3 or 4 songs in that.
Yeah, Zapp songs. So
And on and on.
That was just amazing, man. Just amazing, Then the guy starts sampling Heavy D. My God, just
Hundreds, man,
Tupac,
probably thousands.
just on and on and on. So, hey, man, it is. We had no idea it was gonna be like that. No idea, none whatsoever. And again, I'm 60. I'll be 68 in a few months. 67. I'll be 68 in a few months. Started recording this stuff in 1977.
Yeah.
Do the math, okay?
Right, it's a long time, man. It's almost
Hey.
half a century.
How
But
did-
anyway,
yeah, you said, how does it
you said
feel?
you didn't want to go. You didn't want to spend too much time. Okay, all right. What's the next question?
how
I
does- how
I
does
know
it-
you have enough for that. If you don't,
Yeah.
then you
How
need
does
to
it-
move.
How does it feel? And
Yeah.
think about a day, it's a blessing, man.
Yeah.
You called to do this interview. When Keith Harrison called me, I was getting ready to, I just came in, I just came in from the road. Did I talk to you? Was it you or?
No, it was. I don't think
Somebody-
It was chair. I was there.
You were there? Yeah, I just came in from the road and Keith called me. He said, hey, you want to do this, say this, you want to go? I can't today, man. But, asked me, do we want to do the interview and talk about my life, talk about, what we're doing here, or talk about Dayton? My God, heavens, no. Yeah, no, I loved it. You were there. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
A lot of editing. Don't
We
let the
hope
outtakes
so.
out.
We go. So from interviews kind of we already had with Keith Harrison, it's clear that part of funk is like giving back, not only in Dayton but just broader communities. How have you seen funk giving back to Dayton?
How have we seen the
Funk.
funk giving back to Dayton? Please cut this out because we don't understand the question. You mean monetarily, musically, monuments? Yeah.
It's like what kind of impact does having like so many musicians and having such popular music from Dayton, what does that do to the community of Dayton? Like having so much success musically come from this city, what does that do for people who aren't in the music industry?
Can I answer that real quick?
I don't know if it's gonna be real quick.
Why are you doing this interview?
We're trying to tell a story.
There's the answer. I'm sorry, that was one of the quickest. I'm sorry, but no. How? You are how old?
I'm 21.
You're 21
Oh my
years old.
God. Oh,
Terry's 62. I'm 67. And we got a 21-year-old asking about how did he give back?
Yeah.
You. Hey, I mentioned one of the songs, a song that you listened to that,
Yeah.
that you didn't know. How about California Love? So that way,
you know, it's yeah.
it's giving back. See, let's take that California Love back. Let's just use wow.
Yeah.
Ohio players, so Ohio, Ohio. I didn't go to the game. I was in Columbus when they played Michigan State. Ohio player.
Oh,
So,
yeah, okay.
yeah, man, it's the songs are solid. The history is written, and it's not going anywhere. It is solid because of your interest in funk music, and I hope that answers your question, not sarcastically. Why are you? Why is this guy? I want to know when y'all this. Why is this guy?
Yeah, put him out, man.
I'll cover my face. I apologize.
Okay, no.
Kind of the same question, but more specific to you all. How have you all seen Zapp's impact, kind of specifically on Dayton?
Wow, man, really the same thing as it goes back. It's kind of hard to articulate, In September, Zapp, right, our group, we were in Japan for like 10 or 12 days. Not other, Zapp, okay? Just left Los Cabos, right? We play all the time. They love us. The fans still love Zapp. And then the samples, that's another, I don't have 2 more hours to go into that. But it's the same thing, man. It's the same thing. Everybody knows, everybody in the room, probably nobody's over 25, knows.
Collectively.
Like, knows California Love, and I can go on down the line. And, that came primarily from my older brother, Roger, and us. So, it's big time, and it's solid, and it's not going anywhere.
You ask the impact.
Yeah.
I don't know. My pastor told me never think more of yourself than you really are. It's a gift. It's all from God. So
There you go.
it's whatever the people get or have gotten from the music and the group, if you will, Zapp, the name Zapp. It's a beautiful thing. There's no words, there's no words that can express or explain what people get from it. There's, we don't know. I don't know. It's still going on. It's not over.
For sure. So speaking of Roger a little bit, we have a few questions about him.
All right.
He was not only such a successful part of Zapp, but also as a solo artist too. What qualities really made him such like a strong frontman and just kind of a star of his own? Like, what about him made him really kind of just pop everywhere?
You can edit this out if you like, but that is if you can, that is impossible to talk about. It's impossible to explain because you didn't know him. Anybody who knew him, this is there was one sister between us. He taught me how to play. He taught me about life's my brother. You got a brother? That's smart. Just 4 years between us. That guy was, he would walk into a room and he would just light it up. There was never ever a place that we went to around the world. He and I have been around the world. There's never been a place anywhere. I mean, Greenland, Germany,
Yeah.
Sao Paulo,
Yeah.
Mexico,
Yeah.
Japan, Korea. I just
Russia.
Russia, Helsinki. There's no place that we've ever been that when he didn't walk into a room, he walked in a room, he would light it up. It was just it was amazing. I mean, some of the stuff you guys can research it, try to pull some of the stuff up on YouTube. This is just amazing, man. It was amazing. Roger was very personable. Was nice, and that's the way he was. You know, coming up, we were games. He was silly. You know, had a lot of fun. Always took time to talk to the people. Always took time to deal with his fans. He had a saying, never, ever, ever bore my fans. Never bore my fans. And we stick to that to this day. Never bore my fans.
He was, I don't know, man, I guess that you would call it a generational talent. That he was a once-in-a-lifetime type. I won't call any names, but when you think about one artist or movie star who was a once-in-a-lifetime, that's how he was. That's who he was. And I don't have to really say it. Let the record speak for itself. That's the best explanation I can give you.
I was thinking about this interview. I was watching YouTube last night, and was thinking about all the people that we did records that Roger did cameos on, or collabs as they call them now. Michael Jackson, Dre, Tupac, Snoop.
Yeah.
You know, that's the top of the chain now. That's just the kind of person he was. Yeah. And any of them guys that if you were to interview him, when you do get the chance, I'm gonna say it like that, when you get the opportunity to, you ask them. You know, I would hope that they would say what I'm telling you. You know, it's a real N-word. Nice.
They will.
That's what the end of it. Nice.
Yeah,
A real nice guy, right?
Yeah.
Why are y'all laughing? What
They will.
They
They will.
Kind of along with that, what does it mean to you all both to not only have someone like that around, but for y'all to be with him to go like all around the world? Like obviously you all use your talent so much to share with all the world. What does that mean to not only do it, but also do it with and like share not only Roger's just personality, but music with like the whole world?
Well, let's see. Let me see if I can.
His answer is gonna be different than mine.
Yeah, it will. Let me see here. It's pleasure and an honor, man, to go with him. You know, simply put, it was a dream come true.
Uh-oh. So that means it's my turn. Here we go. Everybody looked at me. Okay. Again, our answers definitely gonna be different.
Yeah.
We played music together before he was born.
So.
And Roger was my brother. So 99% of the time, I called him Red. That was, Red, hey Red, what's up? And he called me Jake. Hey Jake, see, look here, man, let's go do this.
Mm-hmm.
Just hit him. So this is what we got to do, okay? I mean, just got to go. Just got to do it. To me, it was Roger. It's my brother. It was Red. It's Raj.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is so. It's different, you know. Hey, we you got a brother. You do things with your brother that you can't never ever tell. But
Yeah,
it's
that's right.
It's my brother, man.
That's
And
right.
As you asked earlier with this, when did you realize that you had made it? Again, Roger was my brother, man. So sometimes I sit back. I'm telling you, last night I was thinking about doing this, and I had to think about Michael Jackson, Ice Cube,
Yeah.
Tupac.
Wow. Yeah.
Think about it. Think about that. It's wow. So to me, touring, was my brother. It was an honor. Looking back on it, it was the biggest thing that I ever did. I wish I could do it again. I have a dream about him last night. Think about him every day.
You all may get this next question a lot, and we want to be very respectful. And if you don't want to answer this question, you don't have to. But would you mind speaking about kind of your all's reactions when you had heard that your brothers had passed? If you all don't have
Yeah.
to.
Okay. What was the question? One more time.
If you all wouldn't mind, could you talk about your initial reactions when you had found out that your brothers had passed away?
I don't know. I guess it's hard to put into words. That's even harder than trying to explain how he was, what type of a musician, artist, producer, what type of guy he was. I mean, is it gone? I don't know. Do you want to go on camera with this?
Sure, why not?
All right. Well, then I'll go. I'll make it as short, kind of short. And I mean, ask me something like that. I don't know, disbelief. It's hurt, man. It's hurt. Disappointed. Yeah, I'll just stop right there.
Disbelief.
Yeah.
Just
This camera's not gonna be on these? Okay, cool. Cool. Don't you.
disbelief, total disbelief. It's unreal. Just unreal. Numb.
Yeah.
It wasn't like your parents dying or your grandfather. Somebody that close. That's crazy in the word.
How did such a tragic event impact not only you all, but your family in the band, and then as well as the city of Dayton? How did everything change after that event?
How did it change? Man.
That's like 8
Yeah,
hours
that
worth
was-
of.
yeah, that's it changed my life. I mean, again, most of my answers, this is me, most of my answers has been an analogy
Yeah.
compared to, you imagine just, hey, fans around the world was, they were mourning, crying, sending, back then the communications wasn't texting, it was faxing. And I had an office in my home, and my fax machine was just,
Yeah.
I believe that it impacted a lot of people personally, they said, "Oh my God, this is tragic. This is terrible." And as far as musically, my brothers, Larry did a lot of writing vocally and lyrics. Roger and myself did most of the music and the recording. I was the engineer. He did guitar, bass, keys. I did drums and percussion. So it's like having, losing your left arm, your left side of your body, or the right side of your body. And you say, hey, look, how do you make that again? How do you, it's crazy. I'm done. That's enough of that. It's too hard.
Yeah, that's too deep, man.
After 25 years, April will be 25 years. It's but we made it because of God's mercy, because of God's, His word, because of God, period.
Mm-hmm.
Not on drugs, not a lush, not a lay down an alcoholic, not a psycho. God came in and calmed the whole thing down and said, look, you go, here's the path, you go this way. You put me first, I'll lead the way. And hey, obviously it has some validity because you asked for the interview.
Well, thank you all for sharing that. I know it's definitely not easy to share. Could you all kind of reflect, you kind of talked about it was almost like losing like your left arm or something. Could you all reflect on the decision-making process to continue playing music?
It wasn't hard. It wasn't hard. It was twofold for me. Again, I'm not sure about my brother. Wasn't hard. Number one, again, like I said, I've been playing for 64 years. Roger taught me how to play. When that happened, we would go to my sister's house. We'd bring my mom from Hamilton to my sister's, and we were sitting at my sister's. Every day we would be there. Sometimes we wouldn't go home. We'd stay there, we'd talk and eat and cry more. And just held it together, and my mom was there. And I told my mom, I asked my mom, I said, Mom, I don't know what to do. Mom said, I don't know what to do. I was crying. I said, what do I do? She said, go get your brother, take your brother, and get that band and go back out there and play. He said, you've been playing as long as Roger has. He said, you get that band and you go back out there. That's the first part. The second part is we had shows booked. I booked the band. I was the agent for Zapp. That's what I did. I had shows booked. The next show that we had coming up, one was in Florida. We were supposed to go to Florida. That whole tour was a Canadian Miss, I think, was a promotion. I had to cancel it all. There was we had a show coming up in August at the Greek Theater in LA. It was 2 nights. And the promoter called me about 2 weeks after that, after April 25th, and he said, hey, Lester, I want you to still come and play. I said, Alan, this is impossible. I said, I can't do that. He said, okay, I'll call you later. Hung up the phone. He called me back again, maybe 2 weeks later. He said, Lester, I still want you to come and play. I said, I can't. He said, okay, I'll call you later. But he called me a week later. He said, Lester, people want to see you. I said, Alan, there's no way. He said, okay, I'll call you later. And he called me. That was in April. He called me all of April. He called me all of May, all of June, all of July. He called me. This is really, really happening. I said, hey, we can't do it. I talked to my brother. I said, hey, man, do you think we can do this? Can you do this? Can you do that? And he played the talk box a bit, and another guy in the group played. He said, well, yeah. He said, I think we can. And then started practicing. We started getting it together. And we went out and played at the Group Theater. I think the dates was the 11th and the 12th or the 28th, something like that. We played 2 nights out there. But it was, the people received it. It was the hardest thing that I ever did in my life. Second to losing my 2 brothers. To play, I mean, I was crying the whole set. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was a lot.
So, my mom and the fans. And from there, we went on, the promoters, people called, the fans called, and we traveled around. We went to Japan, we went to Florida, everywhere. The people accepted it. St. Louis, Kansas. It's like, wow. From that day to this, it's the fans. Absolutely.
Talking about the fans, what do you think it meant to the fans for you all to keep playing?
Shit. What do we think? What was the question? I'm sorry.
What do you think it meant to the fans to keep playing music?
Hey, I can hit him with the same answer. It'll be cool because we just left Japan in September, right?
Yeah, and we're going back.
How many people do you know can say that? How many groups you know can say that after all of that? You know, they loved it.
It was hard.
Oh,
Some guys in the group, they were naysayers. Fans, some of the other groups were naysayers, but it's okay. We just kept going, Then this came in my mind, God put this in my mind. And I asked you, you ever heard of Temptations? You ever heard of Grateful Dead? You ever heard of, let me see. Who's Perry's group? Star Searchers. Didn't Walk This Way. Who is that?
Aerosmith?
Aerosmith.
Yeah.
Who's the lead singer? What was his name? Tyler. I don't know Perry. Tyler.
Oh, okay.
Right? Is he with him anymore? He's with him? He's back? Didn't he leave for a minute? Just check it out for I'll put this out there, but I won't go with Aerosmith. Let me back this up. But I'll go with the Temptations.
What was the other one that you said?
Grateful Dead.
Oh, Grateful Dead, yeah. Mm-hmm.
The Jacksons.
Yeah.
Are they still playing? The Jacksons? Temptations? You on Google? They still playing, right? The lead singer, Ain't Too Proud to Beg. Y'all remember that song, right? The lead singer's been dead for right?
50 years,
and they
probably.
still playing. You look at some of those groups and they're still touring the Vegas. Just take a look at them. They still playing. Some guy said, look, these guys can still do it. Why can't you? And the fans said, bring it on. Let's go. Let's bring it on. Bring it on. So, hey. Okay, you got to edit that out. Is he? He's still with him?
I believe so.
Did not?
That's okay
I think you get my drift, right? You know, some of them guys died. They kept, they kept playing. It just you got to go, man. You got to pay the rent.
Yeah.
Hey, you gotta buy gas. You got babies to take care of. You know.
I really like that response.
You didn't.
I liked it.
Oh, you didn't like it. Oh,
I really liked it. It was really good input. All right, we're getting close to the end here.
28?
24. 24. I think we're going to go to 27. I think so. Well, we're almost done.
All right.
So Dayton is. We're kind of switching gears a little bit because our next part is kind of about music education. So Dayton is known for putting a lot of time and emphasis into the arts, that even reaches into schools. How did music education help lead you all to where you are today? And how is music education so important today?
Wow. Well, we learned just about everything from Roger, right? He taught me to play a bunch of instruments, and he taught me, right? I took some lessons, but not many. Mostly, we went to the school of hard knocks, is what we did, right? And so we can't speak a lot about the music programs. I mean, I believe that they still exist. I would like for them to keep existing, but this is how I learned. Okay, that's how I learned. I mean, I do some reading, music, but I picked it up the same way, all of it the same way.
When I was in
You go
school,
to me, Harvard, Yale.
yeah,
Talk to me, man.
Barber. Right? When I was young, in elementary school, they had a program called Title I, and they had free instruments. You can get any instrument that you want. And I first went there, drums. I learned some things. Roger taught me how to play. Guys in the neighborhood taught me how to play. But then I learned to read, quarter notes, and with the rest, and the bass drum. The cymbal crash. I said, oh God, I learned that from Title I. Learned how to read music. I later picked up baritone. Boom, boom. I learned to read music. When I was from Title I, then I went to the tuba, and then later I picked up the trombone. I said, oh wow, it was amazing, right? Free instruments. So you can go in and you can learn this, and you had teachers and they had classes and clinics. I did it all the way up till I got to junior high school. I played a tuba in the marching band. I played drums in the stage band, and I was a head drum major in junior high school in the 8th grade. It's like, right, it's amazing. So that program ended. Probably, I don't know. I was a little boy. I wish that those programs still existed. I don't know if they are or not. I'm not 100% sure. A few people have asked me if I would, here for the asking, be honored to. I have a few fans. Few fans have asked me to. They'd asked me to sponsor. It was a drum. I can't remember. It was quite a few years ago. They asked me to buy some sticks and marching straps for their marching drums. They were reaching out to individuals to help keep the music going. I wish that was still going on. I really wish it was. I think that in the city of Dayton, again, we didn't grow up here in Dayton. Yeah. I believe that went on. It's the same. I think it might have been statewide. It might have been a experiment or a program that went on. But it was great. It was great. If that was going on now, I think the music would really be, would be greater than it is now. I listen to the music. I listen to some of the kids stuff I listen to now. I call them kids. Forgive me, but the artists I listen to now, stuff. Some of the stuff is amazing. Some of the stuff is really, really out there, really creative. Some of them commercials I listen to them songs are, man, they're really good. Really are, really good. Yeah, and so that's what I think about the music. Don't get me wrong, hip hop is still on point. Still on point.
So obviously you are such like a family group. Why is it so important for you all to not only play as a family, but pass it on, like down the line? I know, like, Lester, your son, less my information that your son is kind of like a manager.
Yeah.
For you all right? Like,
He's
what?
kind of like a manager.
Kind of like a manager. Now, Les, if you're watching this,
You can tell him I said it, okay?
Kind of like a manager.
Yeah.
I got a text from him a little while ago. Got to go to the Christmas program. We're having yeah, he manages everything. He think he runs everything. But yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But,
You can edit that, man.
Okay, sorry. I just wanted to make sure I had the right information.
Yeah.
So why is it so important for you all to not only play as a family, but to kind of pass on that passion for music, like, to your children?
For me, creature of habit. My dad made us play together. Roger and I played together, and we brought Terry, and then we brought my older brother Larry in, and then our cousins, and then we bring other guys in the city to come in, and it's always been that way to invite other people in. But the core of the group has always been, for me, always been one of my brothers, at least one of my brothers or my dad. It's always been family for me, always. At every facet of every time there was a personnel change, it was always, the core was always a family, always a blood family. And the guys I have now are like family to me, you know, Dale, Bart, then we got the Zapp son is even in the group, Tom, and then Tone, and the newest is
B-Ham.
B-Ham.
That's what they call it.
Yeah, Brian, and then
Was that it?
Peanut. No,
Yeah.
Peanut.
Yeah.
Hey,
The
man,
brothers.
that's Frost. Those guys is, you
Okay.
know, Dale and Bart, they've been with us since 1990, I think it was. Yeah, they came
Dale
in.
came in the early 80s.
Early
80s.
80s.
84.
Early, yeah, Bart
Just-
shortly after that. So they've been with us for a long time, since, you know, it's a long time. And then the other guys that I mentioned, I got them, and they've been, you know, a cohesive group. So, and it's like my brother, family, and then I bring the other guys, you know, the other guys come in. So it's important because of habit. Like American Express. What's that commercial?
Don't leave home without it.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, that's it. It's good.
Two more questions. We've talked a little-
28.
We're getting there. We've talked a little bit about Dayton's kind of past. Recently there's been struggles with like the tornado and the shooting a few years ago, and it still is today one of the more segregated cities in America. Why do you think like funk particularly is important to how Dayton heals? Do you see kind of a correlation between like music and kind of directly kind of healing Dayton? Sorry, and frame that as well.
You sorry, it's okay. This is one of those questions. Yeah. Yeah, music is funk, like George said. Funk not only moves, it removes.
removes.
It removes, it gets rid of the, you know, you funk, when you put some funk music on, you know, you're going to get up and you're going to dance, man. You're going to move. You're going to do what you're doing now, right? You know, right? It's a fast, if it's a 150 BPM, you know, or if it's 101,
Yeah.
98, you know, boom. And if it's a slow one, you're going to, you know, computer love, you're going to lay back, right? So music, funk music, man, it's, you know, I think that it just, when people hear it, when that bass hits you, you're going, you know, you're just going to sit back, you're going to say, man, what is that? And you're just going to kind of like let the vibes flow, man. It's just, hey, it's real.
Yeah, that's it. And with us, that's really our take on it, okay? You have to get another group if you want to go into the political bijigo of the bijiography, all right? That's what it is for us.
Music was, golly, man, you know, we could share some of the stories, man, but we were playing in, we were when Rodney King, the L.A. riots, we were on our way. We were driving a bus out to California, and I remember we was just getting ready. Came off 58, getting ready to get on 15, going down into the valley. We got in the city, and it was a transformer exploded or something, and it came all on the news, man. You know, and said L.A., you know, it's closed. Blah blah. I said, what? And we had a show that it was a Thursday night. We had a show playing down in oh my God, a suburb of L.A. And I called the promoter, and he said, it was Otis. I called Otis. He said, no, man, they canceled. We're not doing L.A. And we went up to Bakersfield and did the show. The next night, we didn't go into L.A. We turned around and went up to Bakersfield. We did Bakersfield, I think Sacramento or Stockton. We came back down that Sunday and played L.A. The people came, they enjoyed it, and they was grooving, and it was, you know, hey, that part of the riots, the L.A. riots, they didn't show, you know, and we were playing L.A. another time, man. We were playing downtown, and they showed it on CNN.
Oh, outside.
Yeah, we were out there playing.
Yeah, we got back to the hotel.
Yeah, we come back to the hotels, look at man, look at this, that's us, you know. We was playing there, and something happened. The cops did something. Some people tried to come up to close to the stage, and we were playing More Bounce or something. And you know, they shut the whole thing down. So, but the music was moving, man. But you know, I guess it calmed the people down. I don't really know, but hey, I don't know. But go ahead. I'll just gotta edit that out. Like, okay. Right.
All right.
It's kind of the last question we have.
Oh, 30. Okay.
What advice would you give to younger generations that maybe are kind of looking up to you all that want to express kind of their own voice?
What advice would we want to give? You know, your questions is gone only 600 words.
man.
Man, I can't tell you one more time.
These questions is some bad, man. These may make you think.
Yeah.
Okay, this is
one more
Keith.
time.
I know you did this. You had to see Keith is a scholar. You know, he went to
Yeah.
school all that, man. We
Yeah.
play.
Right. Okay, one more time.
See, we born her to death. She was like, oh boy, these dumb as a. Oh, she listening to the ball
To the
game.
radio?
No, she
Oh,
listening to
What
right, there you go.
Oh, okay.
Come on, right here.
That's half.
What advice would you give to younger generations who want to express their own voice?
To express their
Their own voice.
own voice.
How do they want to express themselves?
Cut a minute.
Oh,
Yeah.
express themselves.
To express themselves.
Yeah.
As in.
Music?
Or artists, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
That's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
You go first.
Yeah. Yeah, I would. Yeah. To continue to follow your dream. Don't give up. That's it. Pursue it. Continue to pursue it. There will be obstacles. There will be roadblocks. Continue to pursue. That will be my advice.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was.
What
Waiting
time is
for
it?
that.
8:30.
Yeah, no,
Man, I gotta go, man.
That was. They did call. Okay.
What'd he say?
No. I don't know. I'll listen to it in a minute. Okay. Let me see.
Okay. Hey, I'm gonna
See,
get
I
him
got,
his stuff or
look,
something.
I got all. I wrote this down. Okay. Now, what was your question again?
Yeah. Oh,
no.
How we gonna let Lester
No, I was
answer
just-
that
I'm
one?
sorry.
But yeah, that's
Go
it.
ahead. What was it? What would you have? What advice I would have to the young person? Understand that what you have, that fire inside of you, whether you're a believer or not, it came from somewhere.
Woo.
And that fire inside of you to express yourself through singing, dancing, rapping, DJing, filming, that fire that you have to say, oh, I'm gonna do this, to be able to overtake the obstacles that you may have to overstep or that confront you,
Mhm.
that fire, that came from somewhere. It came from someone. It came from something, if you will. Believer, whether you're a believer or not, I happen to be a believer. That fire is real. And understand that when you go into it, that every step that you take, it's going to be a consequence. Don't play. When you go into it, go into it. If you want to be a rapper and you want to rap about paint, if you want to rap about shirts, if you want to rap about drive, whatever you want to rap about, whatever you want to spit your thing out, just mean it. Give it your 110%. Remember, number two, remember that juice, it's orange juice, it's grape juice, it's Gatorade, and it's Haterade. That Haterade, people are going to drink it. And when they drink it, they're going to look at you, and they're going to hate on you. Dig down in that fire. Just know that that fire is real. And do not, number three, don't ever stop. No matter whatever you feel that you want to do, whatever is inside of you to do, just do it. And don't stop. When them haters come, just let them hate. Do you. Don't stop. Don't ever, 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 ever stop. Number four, don't do it for the money. Don't do it for the money, because if you do it for the money's going to come, and then you say, I made it, and then the money's going to go, and then what are you going to do? Do it because of that fire. When you do it because of that fire, if you want money, the money will come. And when the money leaves, you'll still continue to do it. Not to sound anything other than telling the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Since I was 4 years old, I didn't do it for the money. It wasn't for the money. We didn't do it for the money. We had money. We made money. We made a bunch of money. And the money came and the money went. And because, I'm going to say me, because I kept that fire alive inside of me, knowing where it came from. After I got older, I knew where it came from. Hey, listen, anytime I had a naysayer, I had to pray, dig down to that fire, put some more wood or coal on that fire,
Sure.
and take that haterade. When it came to me, just let it go in one ear and out the other. And just keep on. Don't stop whatever you do. Whatever you do, don't ever, ever, ever stop. Ever stop. Again, what you doing, young man? You want to be like Spielberg, or who did you say?
Oh, Ken Burns?
Yeah, Ken Burns. Yeah, the moving picture, right? Ken Burns. That Ken Burns, right? Yeah, don't stop. Don't stop, man. Don't stop. Don't ever, ever stop. So, young people, don't stop. Do you.
That's all we kind of had for questions. I'm not sure what
30.
time it is.
30.
Time to go.
Chicago. Does
that?
anybody know what time
I
it is?
don't know if you all had time. If you
53.
still wanted to-
Oh, the talk box.
Yeah, I'll do
Do
one.
you all have time?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll leave this with you.
Okay. Thank you.
Did you wrote something?
I wrote notes.
She was taking notes for me.
Oh,
Just so the logging.
Me too.
yeah. You said how long it was to sit here. Is that what you said? No. Thank you so much. Is it
Okay, yeah.
okay?
I mean,
I'm sorry not to bore you guys.
if we get it, we need to change the lighting. It'll be quick.
We won't change
No,
the
you.
lighting, but we made
He's
some-
gonna get about 1 minute or 30.
Okay, you
so
gonna
I'm
do
just
it right
wondering-
here? Roll it right here?
Yeah, we made. Moved you.
Mr. Carey. Now, this is a broker for my semi. Would y'all tell him that we're doing an interview? This
is gonna be good.
You're out.
If Carrie
If
answers.
he answers, he's been blowing me up. This is. Uh-oh. No, I think he's not answering good. Okay, we can do this.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing. Go ahead.
Can you show us
Sit.
just a little bit?
Oh, are we rolling?
Yeah.
We're rolling.
Oh, my
man.
goodness.
Don't put that. If y'all put that out there, that would be.
All right now, this is the talk box. Hello out there, we want to say thank you. JW, I'm sorry, JD.
Is it Winslow?
Winslow, yeah.
JD Winslow, we love you, man. You are so cool. I like your questions. I like your questions. Man, your questions. You have some really deep, huge type questions, man. I can't even tell what you be asking me. You want to know the square root of 64? I think it's 8. It might be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What comes after 7? 8. Alright. And we want to say thank you to all the Zapp fans.
So you get it.
That was awesome. Thank you.
We good? We can leave? I can
That's
go?
it?
I can go?
That's it.
I can go?